Hey, what's going on? Hey, we've made it back from our 5-day adventure in the desert. The bike's a little dirty, but I wanted to do kind of an unpacking video. I haven't touched it other than taking my hat out of the tank bag in my wallet um, to show how I packed for a 5-day camping trip. You need about a gallon of water a day, so there's no way you're going to pack 6 gallons of water. Um, so we did stop and pick up water, as needed. But we hauled our food and hauled everything else, tent, bag, sleeping bag, everything you would have needed for camp. I even brought a chair. The guy with me brought a chair and a table. My table was a little large. I ordered a new table, which I'll be taking next time, and I'll put a link in the description and I'll show it here in a little bit. It packs down much smaller and it's just as good as the table as my older table. It's just not as tall, but do we need tall tables when we're moto camping? No, because we're pretty much sitting right on the ground anyway with our little moto camping chairs, right? First off, you're going to look at that and go, whoa, that's a lot of weight to put on a dual sport, right? Well, I weighed everything, including the bags and the gear that's in them, was right around 60 pounds. So yeah, it's 60 pounds. It's probably 59 pounds more than most people would want to carry, but I was on a camping trip. But 60 pounds isn't that bad, really, considering I was carrying, probably 4 liters of water along with that. Let's get to it. First off, I wanted to talk a bit about this Moto tool bag for the front fender. One of the reasons I really like this one is the fact that, well, it's good size for one, but it has a safety strap that goes all the way around the triple clamp so that if your straps in your fender actually do come loose, the worst it's going to do is dangle down and get caught in your front tire and cause you to crash. But at least you won't lose your tools. So on the front fender, I had this Moto tool bag, and inside this tool bag, I have a toe strap, a 21-inch front tube, and the stock toolkit. Starting at the front, that's what we have there. Good Lord, it's dirty. On this side, this is a standard Moto rackless 80, I think it is, system, and I have some things attached with mollies, and we'll go through that here. On this side, I have a molly attached pack to hold my very expensive high-tech water bottle. Why did I pick this? Because it fits perfectly in here and carries the right amount of water. I mean, yeah, I could have probably spent $100 on an aluminum one, but this was free. Free is good if it works, right? So water on this side, in one of the pouches, baby wipes, and in the bottom pouch, this is the same molly pack. I'll show you that a little bit later, close up. At the bottom of that, there's another section where I kept a roll of toilet paper. On this side, we have from Moto the larger pouch that you can attach with molly clips and or webbing. And this was all camera equipment. There's a drone in here. There's drone batteries. There's a drone controller. There's GoPro batteries. GoPro batteries for the 360 and the Hero 7, as well as memory chips, SSD, micro SSD cards. So other than your standard Moto setup, that's all that has been added to that. On top, we have the beaver tail. Let's open that up, unclip this. Probably should have had all this unclipped ahead of time, might have saved some time. But we have editing capabilities, so do that magic, I can unclip them, right? On the very top, we had an Armadillo, giant loop Armadillo 2-gallon fuel bladder. Didn't need to use it. This was just in case we wanted to go all the way north in Nevada up to Diana's Punch Bowl, which probably would have needed to lug along at least a gallon of gas to get us both out of there. Ended up, my friend bought one of these too, and I didn't know. We really only probably needed one, but either way. The Moto tent pole bag that came with the kit is on top of that, and that's attached to this section of the beaver tail. I have a 40-liter dry bag and my chair. So that's everything that's on top. I try to keep the lighter things down low. So inside this 40-liter dry bag, lid's open, and So my freeze-dried food was in here. I think I had 5 or 6 meals. I mean, how much could that have possibly weighed? It's freeze-dried food. Shoes. Never forget your slippers. You got to have your slippers. And then 2 compression sacks, one with my clothes, which basically is just t-shirts and underwear and socks. Probably 2 changes. You can always wash them if you need. And same compression sack, but different contents, which is my EcoPark 40-degree bag. I debated taking the 20-degree bag because it was supposed to get cold. It did get cold, but this seemed to work with my, bug out gear quilt that I also brought along. And that's all that's in this 40 liter. I mean, the freeze-dried food weighed, like I said, close to nothing. This might be 6 pounds. It's not much. These weigh nothing. Of course, everything weighs something. A little chair, 1.5 pounds. Tent poles, 0. Food, again, not much. The ox box in the bottom, I have probably the heaviest thing that I bring is my large toolkit, which has everything I need. Tube repair kits, tire tools, all that good stuff is in here. Probably, like I said, the heaviest thing that I bring. On this ox box over here, I've got an 18-inch tube for the rear. I've got a tire inflator. And what else do I have in there? You know, these are the 2 compartments that you hope that you don't have to use, right? And I didn't. I haven't even opened them since leaving here a week ago. So tire inflator. Oh, an extra can of fuel for the jet boil, and an 18-inch tube. So those were heavier items that are sitting down low. On this side, spare gloves, lightweight gloves, mattress inflator, flex tail, works good. Can of chain lube, probably oversized, but I wanted to find a little half size, but couldn't find one, so I grabbed this. It was sitting up here. So mattress. It's Aircore Ultra for the Big Agnes EcoPark bag. Ultralight pillow. I really like this. Moto Camp Nerd. A lot of this stuff came from Moto Camp Nerd, but anyway, it's one that Dork on the Road recommended, so I grabbed it. He was right. It's awesome. And I just have my quilt just shoved in. And that's a method I use for packing these bags. Was even with my tent on the other side, just shoved it in there and it works great. Yeah, get out gear quilt. This thing's amazing. You can use it as a poncho. You can use it inside your sleeping bag, on top of your sleeping bag, under your sleeping bag, wherever you need extra warmth. And it'll do the trick. It really will. The cigar things, long titanium fork and spoon, instant coffee, and Pedialyte powders for electrolytes. I just use instant coffee. Honestly, my jet boil is the one with the coffee press, and all it does is make a big, greasy, nasty mess. It's just not worth it to me. I'll take an instant coffee and get on the road and get the hell out of Dodge. Sea to Summit set. This is a cup from in here. That's all I used was the cup, so I actually didn't need this part. It was kind of a waste to bring this. And good old jet boil kit. My sparker quit working, and I guess that's a common problem. Mossy oak saw, which we use to turn some mesquite branches from a dead tree into firewood. What else? What else? Oh, some paracord. And, oh yeah, a USB adapter to plug into my battery charging port on this side. And some grease and some tire bead lube in case we had to do something with tires. Tires go on so much easier with a little lube. That's all that's in this side. There was also a headlight. In the top of my beaver tail here, I've got a little tube of Loctite, and I've got various quantities of nuts and bolts for this bike I ordered for the Suzuki DRZ right off of Amazon. Are they high quality nuts and bolts? I don't know. They look OEM to me. They came in like an OEM container, but they're better than no nut and bolt if you happen to lose one, because people say this thing vibrates so much, bolts fall off of it. I did not have that problem. I didn't even find it that it vibrated that much. On this side, my beanie that my daughter made, World of Tanks logo, custom. Gotta have custom things. And then, yeah, the tent here, I put it in the order that I'll need it, so I'll have to put my footprint down first, right? And then the tent itself. And then the rainfly. And this is a Big Agnes product as well. Which tent is this? I don't know. I've got several. It just has a Big Agnes logo on it. I'll put the link in the description. But Moto Camp Nerd has all this stuff. Boy, that's almost everything. I mean, tank bag I almost went without, but it's also handy to have something to throw your wallet in. I took along this 50,000 milliamp battery for charging things. Still has 60%, and I charged everything twice. She's a beast. We have windshield cleaner, spare eyeglasses, and my Garmin InReach, which I did even turn on while I was out. And the reason for that is the new iPhone firmware, 16 or higher, I believe, will let you text via satellite. So I thought, let's try that first before I turn this on, because for 3 nights, we were in locations where there were no cell service at all, zero, zip. So the first night I fired up the phone and it said, no service, you want to try the satellite? Yeah, I hadn't even done it before. It tells you how to point it to the sky and find the satellite and wait a few seconds, it turns green, and you send text just like you normally would. It's super simple, it's free, and it's way faster and less clunky than using this. So I just canceled my service for this, and I doubt I'll take it with me ever again. I mean, that's assuming your phone doesn't get broken in a crash or whatever. I mean, this is ruggedized a little bit, right? It's armored. Just got to take better care of the phone now, I guess. And yeah, that's about it. So, like I said, maybe 60 pounds total gear. I'm 200 pounds plus 60 pounds. I think there are some riders out there that are heavier than that without any gear on the bike, right? Their body weight is probably 260 pounds or even more. So it's not like the bike was overloaded whatsoever. In fact, I increased the preload on the spring because I thought, I'm going to be carrying extra weight, and which was probably the right thing to do, but I increased it way too much. In fact, I probably shouldn't have increased it at all. What happened was I ended up having zero static sag, and I could barely reach the ground. And in the deep sand and gravel, it put a lot of pressure on the front tire because, boom, the back's not going down at all. So yeah, it puts more pressure, not all the pressure, but more pressure on the front tire. And that causes the bike to be less stable. So does that changing that angle, the bike's a little more stable when your butt's down. That's another thing. I have Alpine Star Tech 7 boots, and I am fully convinced that in maybe 2 of the crashes, possibly 3, they saved me from having a broken ankle or at least a badly sprained ankle. I had 0 injuries to my ankle, and the one high side crash, when it spit me off, the bike completely landed on my right ankle with my leg turned the wrong direction. It was scary looking, but then I realized there's no pain. So I just used my other leg and kicked the bike up off me and got out from underneath it. But yeah, those boots are amazing. And then after this trip, they are fully broken in and very dirty. My gear is Revit Dirt gear, the Dirt series. I'm going to put some extra elbow armor in it. That has elbow armor in it, but I don't know if you can see it. Even with armor, I ended up somehow getting a little bit of a bruise and some scratches there. No big deal. But more armor would probably be nice. And then the knee armor in it is kind of minimal. So I'm sure I have some armor upstairs. I always keep my armor when I throw gear away. So I can probably supplement that or just put a better knee pad right in the pant and a better elbow pad in the jacket. Should be good to go. Supplemental video for some equipment I didn't quite cover. This is my base layer for when it's cooler. Just a quilted bomber jacket. You can spend $150 on one of those if you want. I spent $25, I think, on Amazon. These are my Moto GP insulated gloves for street bike use. I used a Scorpion, ATXO 950 foamy earplugs. And then I have a Climb backpack. And of course, we knew it was going to be a great trip because we brought along, the Sun Dick. So in here, I've got a brand new pair of goggles. Well, they're not brand new. They're pretty close to new. I probably should have used those in the dusty areas. It would have kept the dust out of my eyes and nose. In this section right here, my rain gear, which I use basically to block the wind when it got really cold. And then in this open area here, my regular gloves, the lantern for the tent, which you might need on the side of the road, so you don't want to go digging it out, right? So what do we got down here? Oh, the coffee press portion of my Jetboil, which I'll never use. So I'm just I decided that on this camping trip, just take that out, put it away. The water bladder in this guy is a 3 liter. I never fill it up that much because it gets extremely heavy. 3 liters of water just feels a little crazy. On the bike, I can show you the Molly pouches. And inside here is all the drone and various drone and camera equipment. I'll leave that unzipped for now. And this is another Molly pouch. I think this guy came from Amazon. He's a cheapie. 2 of them for like 20 bucks. And it's made for a water bottle. And there's another pouch on the bottom for where I kept toilet paper. And another pouch on the side for whatever you might need to put in there. I think I have baby wipes in there and some carburetor parts. But yeah, that's about it. Tank bag, I have a mounting plate for one of our devices that we build at work. I toss it down, put it under my kickstand and soft stuff. Ram mounts, quad locks, all the things. USB power down there as well. Anyway, yeah, just wanted to show you a close-up of the stuff that you couldn't see probably from, over there. You guys have a good one. Maybe I'll see you out there.
Target locked. Enemy vehicle destroyed.